Hello, families. My name is Mackenzie Guest, and I am a fifth grader at Fairview Elementary School. It's time for your Family Support Friday video. In today's video, Mr. Merriweather will provide information about coping and defense strategies along with an exercise that helps lessen anxiety and stress. These videos were created by Springfield Public Schools, parents, students, staff, and community members. We hope you enjoy this Family Support Friday video.
Hello everyone, Marvin Merriweather with Be Strong Mental Health and Therapeutic Services here, joining you all for Family Support Friday to provide some tips on maintaining and improving a healthy mindset. Our coping mechanisms are our thoughts and behaviors that we mobilize to manage internal and external stressful situations. Some examples of that is my personal favorite, going to the gym to work out, binge watching a new Netflix series, and some people actually use like shopping, getting their hair done, nails done, all those great things as positive examples of healthy coping mechanisms. On the other hand, our defense mechanisms are our unconscious strategies that we use to protect ourselves from anxious thoughts and feelings. So some examples of defense mechanisms are working out, shopping again, binge watching a new Netflix series, but we're using those to make maybe potentially or avoid uncomfortable conversations or uncomfortable feelings and thoughts. So defense mechanisms to an extent are good, but they become problematic when we use them too often or too frequently or even too long. So one of the most common examples I like to use that society somewhat normalizes is kind of reaching for a drink at the end of the day to decompress, to unwind from a stressful situation. And that's perfectly fine, but doing that over time can become potentially problematic. So because we know alcohol is a depressant, it slows the body down, it affects our mood, it affects the brain, our energy levels, our sleep, our memory, and all these things. So we can kind of see how that can become problematic if it's used too frequently or for too long as a defense mechanism or a coping mechanism. So the concept of coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms are important in maintaining a healthy mindset or even improving your mindset because the better we can become at creating an awareness to how we cope and manage stress, the better we can become at increasing our capacity to manage the things that stress us out. So I got a challenge for you over this next week. So if you're experiencing any kind of levels of stress or you just want to try it out, I encourage you to try making or creating a structured daily schedule for the entire week. If you're creating a schedule already, that's great. You got a heads up on this, but I want to add an additional step in that. So at the end of each day, I want you to take about 10 to 15 minutes to kind of review and reflect on the schedule. The goal in this exercise is to shift our focus or our perspective, not to what we did that day, but to create an awareness on how we actually spent the hours in our day. So the expectation versus the reality. It's easy to say we have a bunch of things on the schedule that we had to get done, but we want to focus on the process of how we actually got those things done. So the setup in this exercise can be really vague. You can create an hourly schedule, a block schedule, whatever works for you. I personally like to go with an hourly schedule because it gives me a little bit more flexibility, and I can look back a little bit easier to see how I navigated my day. So again, I want you to focus on not to focus on the what, but the how. And by doing this, we're going to learn to shift our focus to our approach on how we do things as opposed to the content. I utilize this exercise with new clients that kind of struggle with anxiety and depression or anxious thoughts because it helps them shift their perspective on the process and make adjustments from there. So an example is did I spend my day worrying about all the things that I had to do on my schedule that I actually avoided doing them and got nothing accomplished? So taking that 10 to 15 minutes at the end of each day should hopefully shed some light on how you go about your process and how your process can affect your outcomes. So I hope these tips helped you all. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions or concerns. Implement the schedule. Let me know how it goes. Shoot me an email. Other than that, I wish you all a great weekend, and I'll see you all next time.
When reflecting on my coping mechanisms, one thing I tend to do is self care. Self care is taking care of yourself. So, taking care of myself and what makes me happy is going to go buy plants for my home, or even going to go purchase a new quote for the wall. That's positive. Going to go get my nails done, and even visiting positive people to keep me happy. And then my last coping mechanism I use is I am in a book club. A defense mechanism, a protection from my thoughts and feelings. I do enjoy crafting. It keeps my mind going. I stay busy. I can shut down and put my thoughts and feelings and everything into a journal. So that's another defensive mechanism that I do have. And at the end of the day, you just stay positive and happy.